The steam filled the small bathroom of our cramped college apartment in Boston, and I was lost in the hot water cascading over me, trying to wash away the stress of midterms. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and there stood my roommate, Ethan, towel in hand, his eyes widening in shock as he froze in place. In that split second, our gazes locked, and something unspoken passed between us. A spark that neither of us could ignore, forever changing the dynamic of our shared space. I quickly turned off the water and grabbed my towel, wrapping it around my waist as Ethan stammered an apology. "Sorry, man. I thought you were out." Door wasn't locked. His face was flushed, but not just from embarrassment. There was a flicker of something else in his eyes, something I'd noticed before but always dismissed as my imagination. Ethan was the quintessential all-American guy. Tall, athletic from playing soccer for our university team, with tousled brown hair and a smile that could light up a room. We'd been roommates for 6 months now, assigned randomly by the housing office at Boston University, and we'd gotten along fine, sharing late-night study sessions, pizza runs, and complaints about our professors. But this felt different. I mumbled that it was no big deal and stepped out, brushing past him as he entered the shower himself. That night, lying in my bed across the room from his, I couldn't sleep. My mind raced back to that moment. Was it just awkwardness? Or had Ethan lingered a second too long? I'd known I was gay since high school, but I'd kept it under wraps here in college, focusing on my computer science major and avoiding the complications of coming out in a new city. Ethan, on the other hand, dated girls occasionally, or at least he talked about them. But lately, those stories had tapered off, and he'd been spending more time with me, watching movies or just hanging out. The next morning, over coffee in our tiny kitchen, Ethan brought it up casually. "Hey, about last night. No hard feelings, right? We're cool." I nodded, forcing a laugh, but inside, my heart pounded. As the days passed, the incident hung over us like an unspoken secret. We'd bump into each other more often, our conversations stretching longer into the night. One evening, after a particularly grueling exam, we decided to unwind with a beer on the fire escape overlooking the bustling streets of Back Bay. The city lights twinkled below, and the cool autumn air carried the scent of fallen leaves. Ethan opened up first. You know, growing up in a small town in Texas, everything was so structured. Football, church, the whole 9 yards. My family's super conservative. Dad's a pastor. Mom runs the Sunday school. They expect me to follow in their footsteps, maybe even take over the church one day. He took a swig of his beer, staring out at the horizon. But here in Boston, it's like a different world. People are open about who they are. It's making me question things. I felt a pull in my chest. Yeah? Like what? My voice was steady, but my mind was racing. Was this the moment? He hesitated, then met my eyes. Like attractions I didn't expect. Feelings I've pushed down because they don't fit the mold back home. The vulnerability in his voice hit me hard. I shared my own story then, coming from a more liberal family in California, but still hiding parts of myself to avoid judgment. As we talked, the barriers crumbled. By the end of the night, our hands brushed, and neither of us pulled away. It was the start of something tentative, fragile, but real. Over the next few weeks, our relationship evolved in secret. Stolen glances across the room, quiet moments when we'd sit close on the couch, our knees touching. We explored the city together, walks along the Charles River, visits to Fenway Park, even a trip to the Boston Common where we'd people watch and imagine lives without constraints. But the secrecy weighed on us. Ethan's phone would buzz with calls from his parents, their voices echoing through the speaker with expectations of him bringing home a nice girl someday. He'd laugh it off, but I saw the conflict in his eyes. One afternoon, while studying in the library, a mutual friend, Sarah, cornered me. "You and Ethan seem really close lately. Anything going on?" Her tone was teasing, but it sent a chill down my spine. In a city like Boston, acceptance was growing, but not everyone was on board. Rumors could spread fast in our dorm circle, and I worried about Ethan's family finding out. That night, I confronted him. "We can't keep this hidden forever. What if someone suspects? He sighed, running a hand through his hair. I know, Alex, but my folks, they'd disown me. You don't understand the pressure. The argument escalated, our voices rising in the quiet apartment. I accused him of being ashamed. He shot back that I was pushing too hard. We slept in silence that night, the divide between us growing. The turning point came during Thanksgiving break. Ethan went home to Texas, while I stayed in Boston with some friends. He texted me sporadically, but his messages were guarded. When he returned, he was distant, avoiding my touch. We need to talk, he said one evening, his face pale. My dad suspects something. He saw a photo on my phone of us at the park. He grilled me about why I'm not dating anyone. My heart sank. What did you tell him? That we're just friends. But Alex, I can't do this. The guilt is eating me up. Lying to them feels wrong, but so does denying who I am. Tears welled in his eyes, and for the first time, I saw the depth of his internal struggle. We held each other that night, whispering promises to figure it out, but the seed of doubt had been planted. As winter set in, the conflicts multiplied. At a campus party, a drunk frat guy made a homophobic joke, and Ethan laughed along to blend in, leaving me feeling betrayed. Later, he apologized profusely, explaining his fear of standing out. I want to be brave like you, but I'm not there yet. Our relationship became a roller coaster of highs and lows. Passionate reconciliations followed by heated debates about authenticity versus safety. One particularly stormy night, as snow blanketed the city, Ethan received a call from his mother. She was in tears. His father had found an old text from me, something innocuous but affectionate. They're cutting me off, he said, hanging up. No more tuition, no more support. The reality hit us like a freight train. We spent hours discussing options, scholarships, part-time jobs. But the emotional toll was immense. Ethan grappled with the loss of his family's approval, while I questioned if our love was worth the pain it caused him. In the midst of this chaos, we found solace in small acts of defiance. We attended a LGBTQ+ support group on campus, where Ethan shared his story anonymously for the first time. Hearing others' experiences gave him strength, but it also highlighted the societal divides. Back home, his conservative community viewed such relationships as sinful, clashing with the progressive vibes of Boston. As spring approached, the pressure built to a head. Ethan's grades slipped, and he withdrew from soccer, citing personal issues. Our friends noticed the tension, whispering about us. Sarah pulled me aside again. If you two are together, that's cool with me. But hiding it is tearing you apart. Her words rang true, forcing us to confront the elephant in the room. The decision to come out or not became our central conflict. Ethan wanted to wait until after graduation, hoping to secure a job and independence first. I argued that living authentically was more important, that delaying would only prolong the suffering. What if we miss out on real happiness because of fear? I pleaded one evening, as we sat on the floor surrounded by takeout boxes. He shook his head. You grew up with support, Alex. My world would crumble. Church friends turning their backs, family holidays alone. It's not just about us. His words stung, revealing the chasm between our backgrounds. I came from San Francisco, where pride parades were a staple. He from a Texas town where the Bible Belt tightened around any deviation from the norm. The arguments grew more intense, spilling into public spaces. At a coffee shop near campus, our raised voices drew stares. You're choosing them over me, I accused, my frustration boiling over. Ethan stormed out, leaving me alone with my regrets. That night, he didn't come home, crashing at a teammate's place. I paced the apartment, replaying our fights, wondering if love could survive such divides. When he returned the next day, we reconciled with apologies and embraces, but the underlying issues festered. Society's expectations loomed large, media stories of disowned LGBTQ+ youth, workplace discrimination, even violence in less tolerant areas. Ethan worried about his future career in sports management. I fretted over my tech internships, where inclusivity varied by company. A turning point arrived during Pride Month. Boston buzzed with events, parades, rallies, workshops. I convinced Ethan to attend a low-key gathering at a community center. There, surrounded by stories of resilience, he opened up more. A speaker shared about losing family but gaining a chosen one, resonating deeply with him. For the first time, Ethan held my hand in public, a small but monumental step. But the high was short-lived. Back at the apartment, his phone rang. His sister, Claire, who was more open-minded. "Dad's been ranting about city influences corrupting you," she warned. "Be careful." The call reignited Ethan's fears, leading to another withdrawal. He started pulling away, canceling plans and burying himself in studies. I felt the strain on my own mental health. Sleepless nights led to missed classes, and my friends urged me to prioritize myself. "Love shouldn't hurt this much," one said. But I couldn't let go. Ethan's vulnerability drew me in, his journey mirroring so many others in the community. Midway through the semester, a campus scandal erupted. A gay student was outed by a roommate, leading to harassment and his eventual transfer. The story hit close to home, amplifying our paranoia. Ethan suggested we take a break to sort things out. "Maybe space will help," he said, his voice cracking. Devastated, I agreed, but the separation was agony. We still shared the apartment, the tension thick as fog. I'd hear him cry at night, and it took all my willpower not to comfort him. During this time, I dove into activism, joining a student group advocating for LGBTQ+ rights on campus. It gave me purpose, but highlighted the broader societal conflicts, debates over bathroom bills, marriage equality setbacks in conservative states, and the ongoing fight for acceptance. One evening, after a rally, I returned home to find Ethan waiting with dinner. "I miss us," he admitted, "but I'm scared." We talked for hours, dissecting our fears. He revealed a childhood memory, overhearing his father condemn a gay uncle who was shunned from family gatherings. "I don't want that to be me," he whispered. Our reconciliation was tentative, built on compromises. We'd keep things private for now, but Ethan promised to explore therapy through the university's counseling center. Sessions helped him unpack his internalized homophobia, rooted in his upbringing. I attended too, learning patience and empathy for his pace. As summer neared, Ethan's parents planned a visit to Boston. The news sent us into panic mode. "What if they sense something?" he fretted. We rehearsed stories, hid mementos of our relationship. The visit was a tightrope walk, polite dinners, tours of the city, all while suppressing our true selves. During a family outing to the Freedom Trail, Ethan's father made an offhand comment about those liberal agendas ruining the country. Ethan tensed, but stayed silent. Later, alone, he vented. "I wanted to defend us, but I froze." It was a breakthrough. His anger shifted from inward to outward, targeting the prejudices he'd internalized. The visit ended without incident, but it left scars. Ethan began questioning his faith, reading books on queer theology and reconciling spirituality with identity. Our bond strengthened through these discussions, but external pressures mounted. A job offer in Dallas post-graduation tempted him, a safe return to familiar territory, but one that might force him back into the closet. I countered with opportunities in Boston or New York, where we could build a life together openly. The choice loomed, a fork in the road that could either unite or separate us. Graduation approached like a storm on the horizon, forcing decisions we'd delayed. Ethan wrestled with the Dallas offer, an entry-level position at a sports agency run by a family friend. "It's stable," he argued, "and close to home. Maybe I can change minds from within." But I saw the resignation in his eyes, the fear of regression. My own future was uncertain. I'd landed interviews at tech firms in Silicon Valley and Boston. "Come with me," I urged. "We can start fresh." Our debates turned philosophical, balancing personal happiness against familial duty. Ethan's culture emphasized collectivism, mine individualism. These clashes highlighted broader societal tensions. The immigrant-like experience of LGBTQ+ individuals navigating dual worlds. The pivotal moment came at a career fair. Ethan networked with progressive companies, but a recruiter from a conservative firm made a veiled homophobic remark. Ethan challenged it subtly, earning respect from others but rattling himself. "I did that for us," he told me later, a spark of pride in his voice. Encouraged, we attended more events together, dipping toes into public affection. A kiss at a dimly lit bar felt revolutionary, but the next day, anxiety crept in. What if someone from home sees a photo online? Ethan worried. Social media became a minefield. We curated profiles meticulously, avoiding tags. The emotional toll peaked during a heated argument. "You're ashamed of me," I shouted, tears streaming. Ethan denied it, but his hesitation spoke volumes. He stormed out, returning hours later with flowers, a peace offering. "I'm ashamed of hiding," he confessed. But change takes time. Therapy progressed. Ethan confronted his parents' influence, writing unsent letters expressing his truth. I supported him, but impatience grew. Friends noticed our strain. Sarah offered advice. "Society's evolving, but you can't wait for it to catch up entirely." A summer internship separated us, me in California, him in Texas volunteering at his church's youth program. The distance tested our commitment. Daily calls revealed his struggles. Dodging questions about dating, enduring sermons on traditional values. One night he broke down. A kid in the program confided he's gay. I wanted to help, but couldn't out myself. His story fueled my activism back home. I volunteered at a San Francisco Pride Center, sharing our experiences anonymously. Returning to Boston for senior year, we reunited with renewed vigor. Ethan had decided against Dallas, applying instead to East Coast jobs. But fate intervened. His father suffered a health scare, a mild heart attack, pulling Ethan home. During the visit, tensions boiled over. In a hospital waiting room, his dad pressed about future plans. "Find a good woman, settle down," he advised. Ethan snapped. "What if that's not what I want?" The confrontation escalated. His father accused him of rebellion. His mother pleaded for understanding. Ethan didn't fully come out, but the rift widened. Back in Boston, he was distraught. "They think it's a phase. How do I make them see?" We sought guidance from the support group, hearing tales of reconciliation and estrangement. One member's story of gradual acceptance inspired Ethan to write a letter, revealing his sexuality without mentioning me. The response was mixed. His mother expressed love but concern, his father radio silence. As fall classes resumed, our relationship deepened amid the uncertainty. We celebrated small victories, like Ethan joining a queer athletes alliance on campus. But societal backlash reared its head. A conservative speaker at the university sparked protests, with counter-demonstrators hurling slurs. Ethan stood with me at the rally, a public declaration that thrilled and terrified him. The high was countered by low. An anonymous note slipped under our door, reading "Fags don't belong here." Campus security investigated, but it shook us. "Is this what openness brings?" Ethan questioned. The incident fueled debates in our circle: freedom versus safety, visibility versus vulnerability. Through it all, our love persisted, a beacon in the storm. We dreamed of a future together, perhaps in a more accepting city. But the path was fraught, each step a choice between heart and heritage. Senior year flew by in a blur of exams, job hunts, and emotional upheavals. Ethan's letter to his parents hung over us like a pending verdict. Weeks turned to months with minimal contact, brief texts from his mom, nothing from his dad. The silence gnawed at him, manifesting in restless nights and withdrawn moods. To cope, we immersed ourselves in campus life. Ethan excelled in his sports management courses, landing an internship with a Boston pro team. I secured a position at a local startup, allowing us to plan a post-grad life together. But the unspoken question lingered. Could we build that life openly? A breakthrough came during winter break. Ethan invited me to Texas, not as his boyfriend, but as a friend. I hesitated, fearing the facade, but agreed for his sake. The trip was eye-opening. His hometown, with its wide-open skies and pickup trucks, felt worlds away from Boston's urban pulse. His family welcomed me politely, but the undercurrents were palpable. At a family dinner, his father grilled me about my background. California, huh? Liberal paradise. His tone dripped sarcasm. Ethan intervened, steering conversation to safer topics. Later, alone in the guest room, he whispered, "Thanks for being here. It means everything." The visit culminated in a private talk between Ethan and his parents. He came out fully, tears flowing. His mother's embrace offered hope. His father's stony face, despair. "I love you, son. But it's against everything we believe." The words cut deep, but Ethan stood firm. "This is who I am." Back in Boston, the fallout continued. His father cut financial ties, forcing Ethan to take loans. But liberation followed, the weight lifted, he embraced his identity more boldly. We attended Pride events hand in hand, shared photos online, with privacy settings for family. Society's mirror reflected both progress and prejudice. A Supreme Court ruling on LGBTQ+ rights sparked celebrations, but local hate crimes reminded us of dangers. Our story became a microcosm. Love thriving despite opposition. As graduation neared, Ethan received a full-time offer in Boston. "We're doing this," he declared, proposing we move in together officially. No more roommates. The commitment thrilled me, but doubts crept in. Was I pressuring him? His family's rejection haunted him. Therapy sessions delved deeper. A final conflict arose at the ceremony. Ethan's parents attended, strained smiles masking tension. During photos, his father pulled him aside. "I'm trying, son. Give me time." It wasn't full acceptance, but a crack in the armor. Post-graduation, we navigated adult life. Ethan volunteered at LGBTQ+ youth centers, channeling his pain into purpose. I supported him, our bond solidifying through shared trials. But controversies persisted. Debates over trans rights affected friends. Religious freedoms clashed with equality laws. One evening, over dinner in our new apartment, Ethan reflected. If that shower incident hadn't happened, would we be here? We laughed, but it underscored fate's role. Our journey wasn't linear, filled with backslides, but forward momentum prevailed. Yet not all ends tied neatly. Ethan's relationship with his father remained fragile, phone calls awkward. Society evolved slowly. We faced microaggressions at work, judgmental stares in public. In quiet moments, we pondered choices. Hiding versus revealing, conformity versus authenticity. Love won, but at a cost. Settling into post-college life brought new challenges and joys. Our Boston apartment became a sanctuary, filled with laughter, shared meals, and plans for the future. Ethan thrived in his job, advocating for inclusive policies in sports. I advanced in tech, contributing to diversity initiatives. Together, we built a chosen family. Friends who celebrated us without reservation. But echoes of the past lingered. Holidays were bittersweet. Ethan spent some with his mother, who slowly warmed, attending a virtual support group for parents. His father remained distant, occasional emails hinting at internal conflict. "Praying for you," one read ambiguous, but a step from silence. Societal shifts influenced us profoundly. Marriage equality was law, but battles over adoption rights and workplace protections raged. We joined marches, our voices adding to the chorus for change. Ethan's story inspired others. He spoke at events, sharing how a simple mishap sparked self-discovery. Conflicts arose in unexpected ways. At a company retreat, a colleague outed Ethan jokingly, leading to awkward questions. He handled it gracefully, but it reignited debates. Privacy versus pride. "Should we always correct assumptions?" he asked. I advocated yes, he cautioned context. Our relationship matured, weathering storms. A health scare, my appendicitis, brought Ethan to my bedside, his devotion evident. "I can't lose you," he said, solidifying our commitment. As years passed, keeping to the timeline but extending narratively, we considered bigger steps, engagement perhaps. But Ethan's family loomed. "I want them there," he admitted. Reconciliation efforts intensified. A family therapy session bridged gaps. His father confessed fears rooted in his own upbringing, apologizing haltingly. The journey highlighted choices' ripple effects. Ethan's decision to come out transformed lives, sparking dialogues in his community. A cousin reached out, inspired to live authentically. Yet controversies swirled. Media sensationalized LGBTQ+ stories, fueling backlash. We faced online trolls after a pride post went viral. Is visibility worth the hate? Ethan pondered. In the end, our love endured, a testament to resilience. From that fateful shower encounter to building a life together, we'd navigated societal minefields, emerging stronger. But was it right for Ethan to delay coming out, prioritizing family harmony over immediate authenticity, or should he have embraced his truth sooner, regardless of the consequences?